Per reports, the Pittsburgh Steelers are attempting to trade for quarterback Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, this report is by Ryan Burr. Ryan Burr is of the Big Ten Network, and he said that the Jags organization told himself that the Steelers are making inquiries on quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and that if the Steelers would deal and trade for Trevor Lawrence, it would include a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick of this season, this upcoming draft, and that he would be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers would trade away next year's number 1 draft pick because the draft is in Pittsburgh. So it would include next year's draft picks, it would include this year's. But it's been reported that the Steelers are very interested in making inquiries on quarterback Trevor Lawrence. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, this news dropped this morning, and it was very shocking because you weren't expecting it. You weren't expecting Trevor Lawrence to be the name. We all heard the names of Matthew Stafford, maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe Sam Darnold this offseason in free agency, or maybe just Justin Fields or Russell Wilson returning. But we never heard the name Trevor Lawrence because we never knew if he was available or not. And he still might not be available. It might just be the Pittsburgh Steelers saying, hey, let's phone around the league to see if a quarterback that we actually want can become available for the right price. And apparently, the Jags organization told Ryan Burr that the Steelers are making inquiries. So that's basically what the Steelers are doing, calling around to see if the quarterback that they want is available. And I guess Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys. So, you have to remember, this is not a report coming from Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, the two biggest NFL insiders and media guys in the game. This is coming from Ryan Burr, so you do have to take it with a grain of salt. But if this is true, this would be a big development because it would mean that Omar Khan is trying to make a big move and that glamorous splash and could change the direction of the Steelers franchise for good or for worse. Because you can look at this and be like, hey, you look at Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback and he was a number 1 draft pick, first overall in the draft a few years ago. He signed a huge contract extension and he can be a good quarterback in this league. But you look at his play recently, and he does not look like that number 1 draft pick that he was expected to be in terms of the big development, the big time player, and he just hasn't been that player. So it could be for good or it could be for worse. It could just be that the Jacksonville Jaguars are kind of lingering around Trevor Lawrence's name and trying to make teams bite on him and make teams take the bait on him because they want to get off his contract. It can be that, but it can just be this is just a rumor and it may not be true. Ryan Burr isn't a big time known kind of reporter. He is in the game. He is a good reporter, but it's not one of the top guys. I'm sure Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter would have reported on this, but he didn't. So you do have to take it with a grain of salt. But Omar Khan, I guess you could say he's an aggressive GM. He's an aggressive guy in terms of trading up or trying to trade for players. We all know this offseason, it was a big time in terms of trade market with him trying to trade for wide receivers left and right. He wasn't able to get a job done, but that was a big thing this offseason. A lot of people in the trade market trying to make some trades. So this would mean the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to give up some serious draft capital to land Lawrence because it wouldn't be cheap. Even though I don't personally like the trade in terms of giving up that much, that's what it would be. It would be that much to get a guy like Trevor Lawrence in the building with that potential. Because that's what you're basically training for. You're not training for a guy who's already been there and done that. You're training for the potential in Trevor Lawrence if you were looking to get the deal done. And that's apparently what the Steelers are doing. Calling around and offering the first round draft pick and second round draft pick of this year and trying to get Trevor Lawrence. And for the record, isn't it Omar's job to check the tires with every team in the NFL? Yes, it is. It's his job to go around and see which guys are available for trade and trying to make upgrades to this team. And you can't be mad that he's trying to do that. Is it the right move? If the Steelers do it, you're going to have to wait and see what it would actually take for the trade to be completed, or you have to wait and see how Trevor Lawrence's career develops over time. But that's his job as a general manager. So, not that long ago, now ESPN's Michael DeRocco, who covers the Jaguars specifically, stepped in to clarify the situation. While he didn't deny that the Steelers reached out, he made it clear how Jacksonville reacted. And according to DeRocco, the Jaguars essentially laughed at Steelers general manager Omar Khan and basically got him off the phone based off how ridiculous the trade idea is. So his report, Michael DeRocco said, regarding recent report that Steelers have inquired about a trade for Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence, a Jaguars source said there's no chance they'll trade Lawrence and call the idea ridiculous. End quote. So, while it's far too early to draw any firm conclusions from these reports, one thing is clear. The Steelers, and specifically Omar Khan, aren't messing around. They're aggressively exploring every option to make their team better, reaching out to teams about multiple positions, with quarterback clearly at the top of their wish list. And when you look at this, it's not something to be ashamed of if you were laughed off the phone. Sometimes trades happen like this. When you look at, for example, just a Luka Doncic trade in the NBA, you wouldn't expect that trade to happen. But if you call around, sometimes you could get a deal done without any other team knowing that that player is available. And if you're calling around about a certain player that you want and he is available, you could be the first team in on the trade and get it done and shock the league. So things like that can happen, and just because this Trevor Lawrence trade didn't happen doesn't mean the Steelers and Omar Khan should stop trying to trade or call around about players that they want around the league just because they seem untouchable. No player is untouchable in trade, and teams may not be willing to trade them, but if you call around, you may get the right place and the right situation for a player to become available. So in my eyes, this trade for Trevor Lawrence, I didn't like it from the beginning. I don't like Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback. I don't believe he's a great quarterback, or he may have the potential based off what he did in college, but based off what he's shown so far in the league, I don't really like what he's shown. So I don't really like what they would have to give up to get him. So I'm happy that this trade, the Jaguars don't want to even look at it, because I don't really want to give up that much for him. I'd rather them stick it out with Justin Fields, or go out there and get a quarterback and trade up for Arch Manning eventually, or go and get a different quarterback. I just don't believe Trevor Lawrence will be that guy, but that's just my thoughts. So I'm happy about the situation, about them not willing to do it and them laughing off Omar Khan on the phone. But that's just the report I want to give you out there that's been going around. That's the rumors from Ryan Burr and then from Michael DeRocco. So Michael DeRocco basically confirmed Ryan Burr's report basically, but just said that it's ridiculous and they don't want to do it. So you look at the situation, and Trevor Lawrence, a Pittsburgh Steeler, that's not going to happen. And it looks like the Steelers are still going to be in look for another quarterback, whether that is Justin Fields, whether that is Russell Wilson, or a different quarterback this offseason. We're going to have to wait and see. It looks like it won't be Aaron Rodgers either, from other reports saying that it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. So will it be Matthew Stafford in a trade if he becomes available? Maybe. He's still old. He's an older quarterback. I don't believe they should do it. Will it be Sam Darnold? I don't think it should be. I don't think they should pay $30+ million, $50 million a year for Sam Darnold. Do I believe it should be Justin Fields? Yes, that is the quarterback that I want to return if they're not going to go out there and get a top tier guy. So, might as well give Justin Fields the reins and see what he could do for a season. And then if it goes good, then good. You know you have your franchise guy. If it doesn't go good, then you should be in a better place in terms of the draft to draft a quarterback. So, that's what I believe the Steelers should do at the quarterback spot. But it looks like they're kind of venturing off every possible situation in terms of what they want to do at the quarterback position. There's a lot of rumors. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They don't know if either of those guys are going to return to the team. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be as of yet. So those are the conflicting reports around the Steelers in terms of the quarterback. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about who you want to be the quarterback in this upcoming season. And what are your thoughts on this topic about the Steelers calling for Trevor Lawrence and seeing if he's available and kind of wanting him in a trade? Would you have gave up a first and second round draft pick this season for Trevor Lawrence? Or do you believe that's too much? Like I believe it's too much. Or do you believe that Trevor Lawrence is the guy, can become the guy, and lead a team to the Super Bowl? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, everything surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason, even like reports like this, breaking news. I'm covering it. I'm on it. So stay tuned for everything. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.